This is a rematch. Yeah, this is the same. Those two are just getting better.
Hi everybody, you're watching IA Command. Welcome to the final round of our store championship here at Guardian Games in Portland. After getting some feedback and starting to watch some gameplay videos for other games that didn't have any commentary on them, I've realized that it's much easier to watch gameplay videos with narration over them. I was reluctant to do this at first, for one because one-man commentary can be kind of awkward sometimes, and two because I tend to get kind of self-conscious about my voice when I speak into a microphone. But now that I've gotten some practice talking into a microphone and you guys don't seem to mind my voice in some of my previous videos, I'm going to give this a shot. And I've actually gotten a new microphone, a podcasting microphone, instead of just my iPhone mic. So hopefully the audio is a little better than it's been before. I am recording here though in my house, in my apartment, and I do live downtown, so I apologize if there's the occasional background noise. I am doing my best to prevent it. Sorry about the long delay between videos here in September. I've been traveling abroad for the last 2 weeks, but I'm back now, and hopefully between my school and work schedules, I can keep putting out these videos on a semi-regular basis. Alright, so that's the end of my short little script here. From here on, I'm just going to call out the plays as I'm watching the video here with you. And I am watching the same special effects and all the overlays that you're seeing on your screen, so I did make sure to do that before I recorded this because I didn't want to make a mistake and then have to go back and do it all over again. So here we have, this is the finals of our 3-round store championship. We have Mike on the left. He is playing his Darth Vader and Palpatine list with Jet Troopers, cross-train riots, officers, and Zillow. Actually, I don't know if his riots are cross-train. I actually think they are not. I'm not sure actually. And then you have myself on the right playing Spectre Cell, the brand new list. We're playing Concealed Treasures on Mos Eisley. And as you saw from the date at the beginning of the video, this is the weekend of the release of Tyrants of Lothal. The expansion had just dropped in stores, and I may have been the only one at the event that had it. Everybody else seemed to have pre-ordered from online and was waiting for their stuff to come in the mail. So good reason to buy at your LGS, your local game store. But anyway, so this is actually a rematch between myself and Mike. We played in the finals of the Red Castle Store Championship, and he is actually playing the same exact list. I was playing a similar list, a Vader list, but I had 2 Elite Jet Troopers instead of Palpatine. And so it just looks like we just finished setup. Mike is resolving Rule by Fear to draw an extra 2 cards, and he pitched Parting Blow.
I started the round, I used Brash with Ezra.
And then I'm using Brash with Ezra. So discarding Parting Blow, that's really interesting. That to me, when I see that, that tells me that he's got another one in his hand already. So I can pretty much bank on him having Parting Blow this game. And I want to be very careful dealing with Vader because I know he's going to hit me twice. Alright, so we're starting the round. I think I take some time here to figure out where I want to move Ezra. So let's talk about this mission. Hidden Treasures. This is the pick up and deliver mission. Both players are trying to retrieve the boxes using Interact and bring them back to a stash to score 4 victory points. So in this matchup, I'm running Spectre Cell. Excuse me. And Spectre Cell is a very punchy list, I guess you would call it. It's got a very small amount of figures, but they all hit very hard and they're very hard to kill. Mike is playing, he has 1 figure that is like that, which is Darth Vader. But the rest of his figures, they kind of hit in the middle. They're middleweight figures, but he has more. He's got 8 figures to my 6. It looks like I tried to pass here, but then I realized we had the same amount of activations. I don't know if I'm going to leave the table audio in these videos or just have the narration. I guess we will find out later. So anyway, I used Brash to get Ezra up close to that box and then activated him to basically grab it and run back. So as I was saying, with Spectre Cell being such a punchy list, you would expect it to not be great at running objectives. But with these pick up and deliver missions, and Ezra moving as fast as he does, it was actually not difficult for me to grab 2 crates to start off the mission. Although I think I got one with Ezra and then one with Zeb. And it didn't really slow me down or keep me from getting into the fight later on. So Mike makes a bit of a mistake here, I think. He just puts that officer right there on the terminal right before Chopper is activated. But I think he is expecting that he can escape and keep his officer alive. He does discard a card here for the strain. He loses brace for impact. So maybe he did know that was going to happen. But I had initiative, so if he had just waited, he could have avoided taking any damage by moving his terminal figure last. So I moved Chopper there because I am planning on grabbing the other box with him if that door opens. But if it is open, I don't want him to just be sitting out in the open where anybody can shoot at him. And so that's why I put him there. He's as close to that box on the south end of the map as possible, or at least from our perspective. Alright, so the other officer, you'll notice that the officers are a white and a gray officer. I have indicated their status with white and gray numbering next to their names, so hopefully that can help us determine which one is which. Alright, so now I am activating Sabine, and I move her right into that little pocket that's kind of easy to defend. And here I use Spectre Cell, the upgrade card, to move Zeb, basically like a free 2 movement points. And I want to get him close to that box up there so he can grab it. And at the end of the turn, we're playing Rebel Graffiti to get 2 free victory points. I think I may have drawn Rebel Graffiti in my opening hand all 3 rounds this tournament, maybe? A little guilty to admit that. But I think out of all 3 rounds, only 1 round I actually got to play it multiple times. In round 1, it got taken out of my hand. In round 2 by a intelligence leak. And then, well, you'll see what happens with this game. So Mike's activating the riot troopers. They are moving up to grab the crates. He had a help from the officer to get that far. And the other one's just going to move up to the middle hallway. He's keeping it in cover. And we get the 2 block tokens. So now I activate Zeb, and the reason I used Spectre Cell was so that he could move and still grab the box. I think he was 5 spaces away from the box, so I wanted him to be able to move up, grab it, and move back. Spectre Cell does, on the round 1, does a pretty good Gideon impression, giving you that free 2 movement points on round 1. When I first started playing Spectre Cell, I was kind of missing Gideon, that movement, and then I just realized, oh, I can just use Spectre Cell as Gideon. So they don't really lose much of that utility from not having Gideon in the list. So Elite Jet Trooper activates. The first one is going to move up and open the door, and then the next one move up and grab the crate. So Mike here, I think, is smart he is trying to play the objectives in this mission. I think he knows that he doesn't want to just fight me head on and in a slug match. So he is moving quickly to try and grab as many crates as he can and try and score victory points that way. So right now, looks like we only have Vader and Palpatine left to go, and I have Kanan and Hera. So it's interesting with Kanan. Usually Kanan and Ezra run as a pair. So what I don't want to do, I want to move Kanan up as far as I can, but I don't want to just expose my figures too much. I'm actually not too worried about long-range shots, but I want to be careful that his jet troopers can't just rush up to me and whack me with flyby. So I try to keep some distance, but I'm not too worried about my line of sight here. Yeah, that's not a good place for Kanan to be. Yeah, I think I figured that out. The problem here is that Ezra is going to be busy getting that crate for one more turn. So I think I just moved to the door. I figure that's a good spot for him to be in. And he can't get force choked. I'm not too worried if he force chokes Ezra, because Ezra has the recover too. So he's really good at tanking incidental damage like that. So right now, see, and this is what I mean. One-man commentary. Not really sure what to say. But so this was a good tournament. I think we had 6 people show up. And we had some oddball lists. Like I said, I think I was the only one running Spectre, Cell, or anything from Tyrant, so Lothal. You might be wondering why you're seeing the finals for this tournament first. It's because round 1 I played somebody that some of you may know, and I was thinking maybe we could get him a guest on to do it. So Vader's moving up. He tries to open the door, but that is... yeah, you can't open the door from there. You have to be in the 2 spaces right next to the base. So from there, he actually could have force choked. He had line of sight to Ezra from there. It's a bit odd, but if you really go into it and look at it, you have line of sight from there to the space that Ezra's in. And if he had done that, that would have been 4 damage and 2 strain on me, which would have been not as easy to shrug off as a single force choke. So I kind of made a mistake there by putting Ezra there, possibly. I just wanted to have him as close to the stash as possible, so he would have to spend the least amount of movement points to get back into the fight. But luckily Mike either doesn't realize that he has line of sight to Ezra from where he was, or just wanted to get closer in. So he puts Vader in that spot, and that's going to be a problem for him later on in the match. So Palpatine has to tempt somebody. You can't not tempt. And Mike said he had all bad choices here. He ended up tempting Chopper, which I think was the right thing to do. Chopper doesn't attack as much as the other Spectres, so he didn't want to put damage on his own figures, because although I honestly think with Palpatine against Spectre, now that I've seen some more games, you actually want to tempt your own figures, especially your weaker figures, because they just need some way to punch through that ridiculous static defense boost from Spectre Cell. And really the 1 damage isn't going to matter, because Spectre Cell, the Spectre's just one-shot everybody who costs less than 5 points. So Doubt is going to come into play here to remove a power token. I decided to take it off of the closer riot trooper just because I figured I was more likely to attack him before he activated. It's the other one further back has the crate token, but I figured I'm not going to be able to get to him. So we open the doors here. I definitely don't want to open the door next to Chopper now that Vader is standing there. I just don't want him to be able to attack my back lines. So I open the door next to Kanan, and of course I need that open so that Kanan can move into the fight. And then Vader gets to use Driven by Hatred. And I think this is where Mike makes a mistake. He does correctly decide to force choke Sabine, I believe. Yeah, Sabine. You don't want to just put 2 random damage on Ezra if he's going to heal it off later. So he force chokes Sabine, but he stays in that spot where kind of everyone in my team can see him. And it's going to not go well for Vader. If he had moved him into that room next to the crate, I mean, he would have been further away and had even one space over, like, would have been a lot harder for me to see Vader. I would have had to commit more aggressively. And then what's happening here is that because Vader is there, I don't need to go up into Mike's territory to attack him. I can just kind of shoot him from where I'm at, and he is forced to commit if he wants to come attack me. So basically I'm kind of baiting Vader. Oh, so Mike plays Call the Vanguard here. He uses it on his jet trooper that has a crate, and he doesn't attack with it. I don't know. So there's what I was talking about earlier. Mike is fully committed to the strategy of go for objectives. He does not want to fight head on, Spectre Cell head on. I think so a little bit about Mike. He's been playing for a few months now, I believe. He's pretty new to the game, but he's done really well in all the tournaments he's played in, from what I've seen, with this Vader list. And he's got a good head for this kind of strategy game. So Mike has identified that he wants to go for the crates, and he is pouring his resources into that strategy. I actually think it's not a terrible idea, because by using Call the Vanguard to move that jet trooper back like that, he is able to get it back and grabbing more crates sooner. So I actually think that's a pretty good use of Call the Vanguard. It looks suboptimal when you first see it, but it's actually pretty smart. So Ezra was able to use Brash to go drop off the crate and then move back towards the fight. Yeah, Ezra is just super efficient at grabbing crates. He basically just got a free 4 victory points for me on this mission. And then he's not going to have a problem. He is still kind of far out, but here I'm showing my hand here. I've got lots of ways for Ezra to get back up into the fight here. So Mike has initiative. This is round 2. Start of round 2. We've finished playing our cards, and yep, so Mike needs to get that damage officer off of that terminal before Chopper zaps him to death. And he goes ahead and grabs the crate with the officer, and then moves him. Where does he move him? Moves him 2, so he's standing next to the riot trooper. So he has that re-roll on defense if he needs it from Cower. It's a good move. He actually didn't lose a lot of tempo from doing that either, because we were still kind of separated. He does have to endure a shot here, and again, like I said, if he had just moved Vader 1 space back and given up that force choke, Sabine would not be able to take this pot shot at him. And there's that damage bonus from Spectre. It looks like Sabine rolled 6 hits with the boost and a surge. So 6 hits and Pierce 2. Vader rolled 3 blocks. I'm reminding Mike that he can Zillow my Pierce, which he probably knew already. He seems to have a really good handle on this list. So it's also Zillow, so he takes 3 damage on Vader. And then Sabine's going to use her parting gift. She is just close enough to be able to throw a bomb at Vader on the space adjacent. And I think he takes 2. Yeah, he took 2 damage from that. So 5 damage from a single activation, and you used up Zillow technique. That's pretty good against Vader.
Oh yeah, he was under the mat.
So at this point, Mike is waiting. He waits to activate Vader. I mean, he's got the combo in his hand, so he probably doesn't want to just charge in. But Vader can't solo all 5 Spectres on his own. He can't. Oh, and then I forgot to play it. So, yep, Rebel Graffiti and Mike just negation. Get that out of here, that broken stuff. I agree with Mike negating it. I think you should negate it if you can by turn 2. Even if your opponent hasn't played Take Initiative, you probably want to use negation on that because you're stopping 6 victory points if you can stop it on round 2. 6 to 8 victory points, really. 6 to 10. It's ridiculous. So you want to get rid of that Rebel Graffiti as soon as you can, either through Intelligence Leak or negation. I'm actually running Comm Disruption and some Zero Spy list now just because I want to have a way to stop that. So, Riot Troopers are going to activate. He's going to grab a crate. And I think this is another mistake, unfortunately. He moves his Riot Trooper. Again, he is laser focused on getting these objectives over me to get an advantage in victory points, but he left his Vader open by doing this. I would have personally put the Riot Trooper in front of Vader to block line of sight to protect Vader, because you need Vader. He's the only one in this list that can really fight a Spectre. So Chopper is activating now, and he's going to use System Shock on an Elite Jet Trooper that moved next to the terminal. And Mike discards Celebration to his Lamentation. That would have been good if he when he kills any of my figures. And again, he needs to get that victory point advantage because, when I've seen, it's hard to kill even one Spectre. They're just so tanky, and a lot of them can recover. So Mike's going to activate the Jet Troopers in response. He's going to score another crate. So now he is up 8 victory points to my 6. He's going to move that one back. And then this trooper is going to go take a pot shot at Kanan from, looks like, range 6. 4 blocks rolled by Kanan naturally. The Jet Trooper has only got a hit and 2 surges, so I'm not going to do anything to Kanan. Yeah, Jet Troopers are going to struggle from long range against these Spectres. The only hope they have to damage them is with flyby close range attack. And even those are only going to be doing like 2 to 4 damage average. 2 to 3. 4 is a long shot. So Mike's exhausted Zillow technique here, and I still have 2 figures with Pierce 3. I have not used Spectre Cell yet. I have not used the exhaust ability, and I think that we're gonna see that happen. So Hera is activating. She's gonna shoot at Vader. Hera has a good attack normally, but with her Spectre buff to her damage, her attack gets crazy. So I rolled, looks like 3 hits and a surge, so 4 hits and a surge. Vader's got 3 blocks. He re-rolled into a double block. So I made a mistake here. I made a big mistake. I played tough luck on the die that Vader re-rolled with foresight to cancel it out. It did let me put 4 damage onto Vader instead of 2, but I really should have saved that for doubt, to stop Vader, to take away 3 damage from Vader's attack, because Vader can 2-hit kill any of my figures with parting blow. So tough luck is really important for stopping that, and I wasted it. So Hera moves back behind Kanan. She is still in danger of being 1-hit killed by Vader's attack, even with the defense bonus, so she needs to stay hidden here. I don't want to expose her to Vader. It looks like I don't use my Spectre Cell here. I think I'm waiting. I'm not sure what I'm waiting for. Oh, I think I'm waiting for the Jedis to get up close. So here we go. So Vader's making his move. I think Mike's getting a little tired of taking the punishment from me. So he moves up and attacks Kanan. It was 2 hits. It was 5 natural hits. He re-rolled a single hit from the yellow into a surge. I re-roll Kanan's die. I think I got the same thing. 2 blocks. So 3 blocks from Kanan. Vader doing 5 damage going through. And now Vader's going to use the combo of looking for a fight to get a damage power token and push Kanan so that he can use parting blow to get a second attack. This is what makes Vader good. He wouldn't be good without this, I think. I mean, he'd be good, but this is what makes him such a top tier figure. So he pushes Kanan, and we're going to the second attack with a power token. Sorry, the dice were off camera there. I got him loaded up for you guys though. So he rolls 6 damage symbols and a surge, and I think he re-rolled. Oh no, I'm re-rolling first. I have to do my re-roll abilities. Or maybe that's wrong. Maybe I'm thinking X-Wing. So I used Doubt to re-roll his triple symbol red die, the one that has a surge. Kanan rolled an evade. So now Vader's got 8 damage showing, which includes the power token. He re-rolled his double hit yellow to get a hit and 2 surges. So now he's got 7 damage symbols and 2 surges against my block and evade. He is 1 damage short of finishing off Kanan. So even though I made that mistake with tough luck, I lucked out. And Kanan's going to survive with 1 hit points here. 1 health. Really rough for Mike. Not get that kill. And Vader is now exposed. He's closer to the Jedi where they can smack him. He's stunned, so he can't even move back. Vader has 7 health left. Normally I would consider that a healthy Vader. You can take 1 or even 2 attacks from a regular list if they don't have a bunch of hunter cards. But he is gonna probably, 7 health is not a lot against the Spectres. Now I make my move. So I'm trying to kind of figure out how to do this. When we played this tournament, we were under the impression that Spectre Cell you had to move first and then attack. We've later learned that with Spectre Cell you can actually attack and move in either order. So I'm trying to move Vader and Kanan in such a way that I can protect Kanan from line of sight. So Ezra's going to use Force Rush. He gets an extra 2 movement points. Then he's going to push Vader in a way that Kanan can basically move out of sight and still get to attack after he moves. And also that Ezra can attack him. So here comes Ezra's attack with his ability to change a die active. Oof, Vader rolls 6 blocks, of course, but it's not going to save him. So there you can see much to learn, giving me an extra 2 symbols. That's 5. Pierce 3, so 7 damage and Pierce 3 is ridiculous. So Vader's going to take 4 here, even though he rolled perfectly. Now Spectre Cell is going to move Kanan and let Kanan attack Vader. This is the 1-2 punch is so devastating from Spectre Cell. A good roll from Vader, but, and again, sorry for the dice, but there you can see I put it up for you guys. Vader re-rolls, he gets a worse roll because he needed that extra block to survive. And he's dead. That was an overkill. So I go up to 19. And now Ezra's going to move up to protect Kanan from any kind of long-range attack. It was smart in my head, but it won't matter. Let's go see. So, pretty rough for Mike here to lose Vader. I think being aggressive with Vader may have been a mistake. He like I said, Mike is going after these objectives, and that's what he needs to do. But I feel like Vader wasn't quite on the same game plan. If he had been a little more conservative with Vader, he could have used him as basically like a stick to keep my figures away from his figures that were going after objectives. But instead, because he dive bombed in, like he just went right into the Hornet's Nest, and I didn't have to do much to kill him. So here comes Palpatine. And like I said, all that shenanigans and chicanery to get Kanan hidden from attacks is made pointless by Emperor Palpatine here. He's going to tempt Kanan to kill himself, which he does. So now Mike is going to have to make do with pretty much Jet Troopers and Palpatine. The riots can hit decently hard if you get good rolls, but they're not elite riots, they're just regular riots. So. Yeah, so if he had held back with Vader, kind of kept him out of sight, I would have had to been the one that charged in to check out his figures with my Spectres, and then he would have been able to counterattack with both Vader and Vader's bonus attack from Palpatine. I think that's what he probably wanted to do. So Zeb is going to activate. He's going to move it. Go ahead and score that box. A little bit slower than Ezra is at that, but yeah, four victory points more, going up to 23. Mike's at 16 though, and he hasn't killed a single figure. I mean, he's doing good. His strategy is paying off. 16 victory points so far from crates, it looks like. Well, actually, no, excuse me. He just killed Kanan. So, 8 points from crates, 8 points from killing Kanan. And I believe so I think we're both at 2 crates apiece, which means there are 2 left on the map. There's one by that riot trooper. Oh, and the officer picked one up. That's right, the white painted officer. So Alright, so that was the end of the round. By the way, if you... Oh, so last door opens, so now Chopper is about to be unleashed. Now that Vader's gone, especially. So if you're new to the channel, or if you never quite got the indicators I've been using... Oh, keep getting interrupted here. Take initiative, played by Mike. I have no negation or anything, so... Mike is going to use that initiative. Aha, that's right, because he knew that I really wanted that crate with Chopper. That sneaky riot trooper took my crate with take initiative. And the other riot trooper, I think Mike commented he didn't really have a plan for the other one. Yeah. So you'll notice the colored circles on the side of the screen. So green circle means figure hasn't activated yet. Red circle means the figure has activated, and a white circle means the figure is defeated and without an activation this turn. So Mike is very gracious. He lets me use Brash here on Ezra that I forgot. I found it's very easy to forget to use Brash. You know, I probably should have just let it go. Because he already gave me information with take initiative. I really shouldn't have been able to use Brash there. But Mike's a great player. He's a great guy. I've enjoyed playing the games I have with him. So Chopper is kind of left hanging there. It's got nothing to do now that that crate's gone. I mean, you can still zap. Looks like there's a... I think it's an officer standing on that, but it's not the damaged one. So whenever I play, I like to try and defeat my opponent's unactivated figures first. It just takes away their tempo, gives them less utility from their figures. You don't, if you can, you want to avoid shooting at activated figures because they've already gotten their utility for the turn. So Hera's going to use Heart of Freedom. That's because I need to reposition over to the upper side of the map where those jet troopers are. Even though she has no damage or anything like that, I'm just using it for the movement points. And often I find I do use Heart of the Freedom just for the movement points. So she's moving 6 spaces so she can get a bead on those jet troopers, and also that she can be close enough to support Ezra with her Called Shot ability when he goes up to attack. So it looks like she's doing 5 damage to that trooper, and because of Chopper's system shock, that is a dead trooper. And that was actually kind of messed up my plan because I didn't think I would kill him. And so I was going to use Spectre Cell to have Ezra move 2 spaces to attack that guy. But I just kind of need to adjust my plan. So instead of using Spectre Cell, I use Strength in Numbers. Another really good card in Spectre Cell. Lets you chain a bunch of attacks together. So I now am able to activate Ezra, because with Hera there are 11 points total. And Ezra is going to move Hera up further so that she can support him with Called Shot. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Because Ezra is just far enough away to get to that riot trooper. Oh, looks like I actually changed my mind. So I'm actually activating Sabine because I think I realized I didn't want to do Ezra. So Sabine's going to use Spectre Cell. Oh, I see, because I'm trying to kill that jet trooper. I don't want to kill the riot trooper because it already activated, like I said. So Ezra wouldn't have been able to reach that riot trooper, or that jet trooper, so that's why I didn't activate with him.
So I'm just symbols. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I won't cancel it.
So looks like I've got 7 damage total to his 2 blocks, so 5 damage onto the riot trooper, or no, the jet trooper, sorry. And now Sabine's going to take her activation. So I'm trying to finish off that jet trooper with just a parting gift to save my actions, but unfortunately I only get 1 damage, which leaves the jet at 1 health left. So I end up having to use my attack to shoot at it anyway. And I do kill it here. And this is that's a big tempo loss for Mike. Just losing both of his jet troopers there without having been able to activate them is really rough. And I think I impressed myself a little bit with just how amazing Spectre Cell can be. I mean, killing 2 jet troopers, elite jet troopers, in 1 activation is just disgusting.
How many victory points did you have?
So that puts me up into the 30s of victory points, 31 victory points. Mike still has 16. He is about to go to 20 with that crate. I believe he has a crate. Yeah, the riot trooper has a crate. And the officer. So he actually has all the remaining crates. I think Mike makes a bit of a mistake here. He is trying to activate his riot troopers that activated at the top of the round. And I am actually completely oblivious. I'm just sitting there watching him do it. So, yeah, Spectre still has been an interesting list. There's been a lot of talk about it. I'm sure you've heard, if you're watching this channel, you've probably heard some of that talk. I was extremely impressed with it when I played it. I've only played it in this tournament, but I've seen some other games with it from other people. Mike was the only person who was able to kill more than 1 of my figures in this tournament. Everybody else, it just... yeah. So there goes my negation. But again, this is a phantom activation. These riots should not be activating right now. And we're about to find out why. Yeah. So Mike realizes his mistake. He totally called himself on it. I would have not noticed if he hadn't said anything. So we will go ahead and rewind his turn, his activation there, put everything back. I just shuffled negation back in, and we'll let Mike do his.
They haven't actually done anything, so I didn't really remember it.
Well, I didn't do nothing. That riot trooper snuck that crate away from Chopper.
Yeah, so instead of also have that officer. Right. Yeah.
So he's gonna score here with that officer. It looks like that one has 2 damage on it. So it goes up to 20 victory points. And he commands the riot trooper to move closer to Sabine. He's setting himself up nicely here for a Palpatine turn, I think. I actually didn't even see it coming. I haven't played against Palpatine that much. So Zeb's going to activate here. Now that he's finally done getting that crate, he is going to move 8 spaces and then use his bow rifle staff, and kills that officer for 2 points. He's similar to Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight Luke, in that he can attack without spending an action, but it has to be a melee attack. So right now there's like 1 crate left being held by the riot trooper. Mike has only the single officer, has 2 riots, and Palpatine left. and I have everyone left except for Kanan.
I see a Darth Vader and only one dead if there's enemy. Guys.
Are you surprised at all? That's dead too. Oh.
There's a journal commenting on the board state. Noticing there's a dead Vader. Alright, so now Palpatine's gonna go. He's using Force Rush to get over that horrible 3 speed. Basically, Palpatine is MVP right now. He kind of has to carry Mike to the end here. Because those riot troopers aren't going to do much. So he's deciding who to tempt. I think he tempts Sabine. For some reason I thought the Force Lightning stunned. Not stunned. Yeah. So for some reason Palpatine doesn't get stunned with his Force Lightning. Otherwise it'd be really good against Spectres. It's still pretty good though. But he decides to attack, which is kind of neat. So he actually is going to use his Emperor ability here to have the Riot Trooper attack Sabine. And he does a lot here. He does another 4 damage to Sabine. Or actually 3 damage because of the bonus block. And I end up milling negation again after shuffling it. And now Palpatine's going to attack Zeb with his lightsaber. This is actually the most I've ever seen Palpatine attack in a game. I don't think I've ever actually seen him attack. But it's actually pretty devastating. So, oh, I see. He tempted himself. So that was smart. Mike's playing really smart here. Just really doing what he can to come back from behind. So he does clean 4 damage to Zeb. That Pierce 3 automatic is really good against the Spectres. I still have Ezra and I still have Chopper. So Ezra moving 3 spaces to attack the Riot Trooper that just attacked Sabine. I'm gonna reroll. And get 3, so 5 damage total. Pierce 3. Wait, Mike still has Zillow. So he's going to exhaust Zillow and discards, what is that? I think fuel efficiency or something. Anyway, discards a vehicle card that he can't use anymore. And he's going to keep that Riot Trooper alive with 1 health. And now it's time for Chopper. Chopper is angry. So Chopper's going to move 4, and then he's going to use his ram to move 2 spaces. He wanted that crate. You can't take away the crate from Chopper.
And I got to push it.
And he's gonna pull him back. So I think that was 2 damage to the Riot.
Yeah, wouldn't usually do anything. He's holding this giant crate. Alright.
So that's the end of the round. I believe that was the end of round 2. Going into round 3.
No idea of any end of round. Start round, I get
No end of round effects. Initiative goes back to me. So we use Brash with Ezra. This time I remember. And basically, I don't want that Riot Trooper to score that crate.
who's going first. So yeah,
So Ezra's activating first, moving 2 spaces to attack the riot trooper that is tussling with Chopper.
I burned the 1 card to keep alive. This is the guy with 4 damage on him.
Just confirming that the riot trooper by Chopper only has 2 damage on it. So I reroll. I want to keep that surge because it's worth 2 damage to me. I get the same result though. So 4. I've got 4 damage. And I choose to pierce 3. I think I should have just done +2. Would have been 6. I think he got 4 blocks there.
Well, I'm gonna use Spectre Cell on
Nah, it wouldn't have mattered.
Chopper.
I mean, I would have done 1 more damage, but it wouldn't have killed him. So I think I was just trying to get him to exhaust his Zillow technique. And now Chopper's going to finish the job with his attack. With that power token he got from Palpatine. That's a dead riot trooper. And that was with Spectre Cell.
Those are only moved 2 spaces, so he's going to move 2 spaces. Alright, who can I actually manage to kill? He's only got 6 health left. He's got 11 health. Probably not. Okay, so tips, damage.
So Palpatine, I believe, is going to attempt Sabine. He's going to move 3 spaces, and he's going to use Emperor to have the riot trooper attack Sabine, who rolls a dodge. Ugh. It must be terrible to see a dodge when you're attacking a Spectre. But Palpatine's going to attack again, and all I get is a surge cancel or an evade. And Palpatine does 5 damage, which is all he needed to do to kill Sabine. So that was pretty awesome. Yeah, he killed two Spectres. And again, that's more than anybody else did that day. So he gets a 7. He gets a nice 7 points.
I didn't expect to win at all. So.
Narrowing the gap. Mike confessing he thought his chances in this game were going to be slim. So Spectre Cell and Zillow Technique have both been exhausted at this point. I think it's not showing on the screen, but Zeb's going to activate. I need to get 5 victory points here, which is kind of awkward because the only thing left on the table are 2-point figures. So basically I have to kill Palpatine.
I don't think I've gotten it yet. You had. Oh, you used it last time. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So yeah, 2 damage to him.
So 2 damage to Palpatine. Pretty pathetic roll by Zeb. Oh, excuse me, I attacked the trooper. Probably should have just attacked Palpatine. I should just be attacking Palpatine. Because once I kill him, the game's over. So I'll move up and do my 3 melee attack.
So it's going to be surge +2, so that's 5.
And
4 damage.
Hera, using Hera's Called Shot. I had a surge because I thought it would give me a recover 2. But it only recovers 1, so I changed that to an extra damage. So that's going to be 6 damage on Palpatine. Palpatine is down to 6 health left.
Chopper's in full health. Yeah, because he recovered.
So Officer shooting at Zeb and rolls pretty amazingly. Actually gets a perfect roll. I think normally you would want to stun Zeb here with that extra surge, but at this point he is short on attackers, so I think the focus is a good idea. You need to focus. So for a perfect roll, he does 1 damage to Zeb.
He's got 13 health, 7 health left. Yeah, I'll shoot him.
So Hera is going to shoot at the Emperor.
Yeah, Hera will shoot at the Emperor.
From range 2.
I'm sorry, I'm using tools.
Oh, and I cheat here and use tools after the fact just because it's been a long day.
3, 5, 7, 9.
So 9 damage coming from Hera, unblocked from Palpatine. That's 8. Even without the tools, that's a dead Palpatine. So that was the game. There's some after game commentary there from the players. Okay, so that's the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope the commentary was useful here, and thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you like the content. Please like the video, share with your friends, share with people you think would like Imperial Assault. Really want to build the community. Thank you guys. Bye.